I think you know what. Let's start.
Yeah.
For those who have just joined in, thanks a lot for participating in another yet another webinar. This time we've got Radwin, who will be presenting their products. We are, of course, distributors for Radwin. I won't give much information. I mean, Yaron could do a much better job at explaining the company. It's been around in the market for they are one of the pioneers of when it comes to wireless networking. This is so I'll pass it on to Mr. Yaron.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mohammed. Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. My name is Yaron, or short is Ron, and I'm with Radwin. I manage the European and Middle East territory, and with me is Shimon, our pre-sales director from Radwin. So we'll just give you an overview today about what we can do for you and how to partner together. Radwin is a manufacturer of high-quality radios, outdoor radios in the 5 gigahertz band, so anywhere from 4.9 to 6 gigahertz. We also have products in the 3 gigahertz, but most of our business is in the 4.9 to 6 gigahertz. We are 23 years in business. As a company, we are about, I would say today, around 300 people working. It's a global company registered in the US, manufacturing in Singapore, and several R&D centers in several locations. What you see here in the picture is one of our buildings. So we are deployed in 170 countries. More than 2 million radios were installed over the years, and we are growing as a company since 2003. We are about around $100 million in sales company, so a good size, not too small and not too big. And our focus is completely on high quality telco grade radios for outdoor, point to point, point to multipoint, and a special product line for mobility. So what can you do with us, with Radwin, with our radios? There are a variety of application use cases. One of them is telecom and wireless ISPs, where we provide radio links and we enable operators to connect residential customers or business customers in rural areas or suburban areas with point-to-point or point-to-multipoint. What you see on the picture on the left side is a big operator that has 16 point-to-multipoint base stations of Radwin on one tower, servicing close to 1,000 clients from one tower with broadband connectivity. Also, operators are using our point-to-point links for backhaul or for connecting business clients or backup to fiber. So fiber obviously is very popular, but in many cases there is a need for backup to fiber, and wireless is a good solution. And 5 gigahertz is a very good solution because it's cost effective. Other applications are safe city. We are doing a lot of safe city, smart city projects, connecting cameras and devices at street level. We have good business with utilities, power utilities, seaports. We love seaports. We are doing a lot of projects with seaports. Also connecting ships. I will show you more. Ship to shore is a very popular application where we can connect ships. Mining is a great use case. I think probably some of you are working in Africa, so there is a lot of mining there. And in mining, there is a need for connectivity for the vehicles, for cameras, for backhaul, for Wi-Fi. So we fit very well for mining. Oil and gas is also a very popular application. And transportation, which is a different product line that is a subject by itself. Maybe we will do a webinar just on transportation, but we have the best product in the market globally to connect trains and deliver high capacity 200, 300 megabit into a running train up to 300 kilometers an hour. So in terms of product lines, we supply the market with point-to-point product line, point-to-multipoint, very robust technology. There is another product line I mentioned for mobility, for trains, and networking and some software related products. So why work with us? Obviously there are several other vendors. Radwin has advanced 5 gigahertz and 3 gigahertz radios. Okay, very advanced, very old telco grade. We are 23 years in business and we make top quality radios with 25 years MTBF, mean time between failures. So the radios are designed to install and forget for 25 years. They are very robust. We have top class customer support. So if something happens, you know, we take care of you. We don't just sell equipment, but we provide great support to our local partners. Some of the other vendors, like I would say the Ubiquiti, there's really no one to talk to, no support. You just buy very cheap equipment, and then when you have issues, you know, the vendor does not support the equipment. So we provide very good support. Shipping is relatively fast. If we have it in stock, it's immediately. If not, 3-4 weeks. We have 2 factories, Singapore and another one here locally in the Middle East, but Singapore is our main factory. Software planning tools and user-friendly web-based management. All the radios are IP67, so they are designed for extreme connectivity. Field proven. We have over 2 million radios and they are all working very fine. The software has great immunity to interference. We have algorithms to deal with interference. Radios are designed for voice, video, and data traffic. Okay, it's not trivial. For example, to support video surveillance, we fine-tuned our radios to support smooth video traffic. All the radios support gigabit Ethernet, designed for SLA, always on. We also support near line of sight. So obviously line of sight is the best, but we can also work in a near line of sight. And the links, they don't drop in rain, snow, fog. They are very robust. Okay. So customers, we sell a lot to telecoms and operators, wireless ISPs to connect customers in rural areas. I mentioned connecting business, fiber backup, backhaul, verticals. I mentioned connecting ships, mining, CCTV, data connectivity, outdoor Wi-Fi, backhaul, private networks, campus connectivity. So let's do a short dive in to see some very interesting applications, and then we can talk more about projects. One of the popular applications is ship to shore. You know, a lot of shipping companies, many of them use satellite, but when they come close to the port, they want to have very good connectivity. Satellite is expensive and slow, and they prefer to have a different type of connectivity. So we are really experts in connecting ferries, container ships, passenger cruise ship, and give them really good connectivity from the shore. This is used for backhaul for the Wi-Fi network, ticketing machines, passenger information services, onboard security and safety, voice communication. Okay, so this is a very popular application. The way we do it is on the ship, on the big ferry, we install several radios, not just one radio, but several radios. with directional sector antennas. Those are 30 or 60 degree antennas. They look front and back. And on the shore, in the port, we install a base station, a very powerful base station called Jet Duo. This base station in 5 gigahertz has a 90-degree beamforming antenna, 20 dBi. So it is very powerful with beamforming antenna that always scans the 90 degrees. And then the communication is very, very robust. It becomes almost like a point-to-point communication between the ferry and the shore. And this way we can provide a lot of capacity, anywhere from 500 in the short range up to 50 to 100 meg, up to 20 kilometers range. Okay, we also aggregate the traffic of those multiple subscribers on the ship. And the ship can get really nice capacity, okay? Comparing to a satellite, which is relatively slow, especially the uplink in the satellite is maybe 1 or 2 megs. Even with Starlink from Elon Musk, the uplink is very poor. And we did several really amazing projects in the UK where most of the capacity was needed for uplink because they needed to send video surveillance from the ship to the shore, where the uplink with Starlink was very, very slow, just a few megs, where we provided them, hundreds of megabits of uplink. So this is a very popular application. If you have customers, cruise ships or any type of marine, then we can look into that. We do it together. We help you do radio planning. And we help you with the configuration. So this is a fantastic, unique application. Okay, this is another. We did already globally tens of projects like this over the years, and they're working very, very well. This is another project where you can see the radios, you can see the sector antennas connecting to the shore. And this is an example of the one of the base stations in the port. You can see a base station, a Radwin jet base station with beamforming antenna covering a seaport. So all the ships that are coming into this seaport are getting connected kilometers before they reach the port, many kilometers before they reach the port. They can get connectivity. In this specific case, it was up to 10 kilometers. This was the requirement from the customer to design a network up to 10 kilometers. So this is again very popular. Another use case application is mining. I mentioned we have a special division just doing mining because it's a good business for us. In the mining, there is different needs for connectivity, from sensors, connecting the vehicles, connecting cameras. In some cases there is no power, so we power the radios with solar panels, because the radios, they consume very small power. One type of radio takes about 13 watts, another one 20 watts, but not more than that. So we have a lot of installations with solar panels. So this is just example of how a mine looks like. There is a base station on those top towers connecting to some other devices. Okay, it's all being done with a base station called Jet Duo, all with beamforming technology. And we cover the entire mine with connectivity, fixed or mobile connectivity. Okay, so either CCTV or also connecting the vehicles. So over the years, we did many projects in India, Chile, South America, Africa, Middle East, many mining projects for different types of applications. I'll show you this is an interesting one in Turkey. You can see on the left side, you can see Radwin radios powered by solar. At the bottom, they have solar panels. And the Radwin, this is a point-to-point link at the top, bringing connectivity, bringing backhaul, and then connected to an outdoor Wi-Fi device. So they have Wi-Fi, long-range Wi-Fi coverage in this gold mine. Okay. So this is how it looks like. So mining is good. Also CCTV is fantastic. Where this is straightforward. You have cameras and video cameras, PTZ or any type of camera needs connectivity to somewhere where there is fiber. Sometimes it's very expensive to bring fiber or impossible. So we bridge with Radwin, with wireless, we bridge between the camera to the next fiber connection or fixed connection. And we do a lot of those safe city, smart city projects in different countries. This is in Belgium. This is another installation for smart city, safe city. You see cameras connected, you see speakers. On the left side, it's in Amsterdam. PTZ camera connected with the Radwin. So any type of safe city, smart city project that you have, we can help you. We can help you with the design, and it works very, very well. Over the years, we fine-tuned the radio to work perfectly with cameras. You can see on the right side a picture of solar panels powering the radios. So different types of applications. Okay. I also mentioned wireless ISPs. In Africa, there is a lot of wireless ISPs for rural areas, in places where you cannot bring fiber or fiber is too expensive. Then wireless ISPs connect customers, villages, houses with wireless. So we have a lot of customers of wireless ISPs. What you see in the pictures, you see base stations, Radwin base stations. The big advantage of the base station is that it's using beamforming technology. The antenna is bidirectional beamforming, which is very effective, much more powerful than a standard antenna. I will show you later on in the slides the advantages. So you see here different types of base stations. Every base station has a 90-degree sector antenna covering the area, and clients, other radios connected to those base stations on towers. So this is how it looks like on houses. You see the Radwin subscriber unit, SU, CPE, installed on a house. It's a 500 meg radio that deliver very good 100 meg service. And this radio with flat panel antenna, 22 dB, is communicating with the nearest base station. Now distances can be anywhere from very short range up to 20 kilometers. We have installations up to 20 kilometers subscriber to base station. This is really a big advantage of Radwin, supporting very long distances because of the beamforming antenna technology. Okay. Let me see, there is one question, I think. No, there is not. Okay. Okay, let's look a little bit about the product line. What product line we support. Point to point, very simple. At this point, we have two products, two point-to-point products. One is called Alpha, Radwin Alpha, with 22 dB integrated antenna, 500 meg, either integrated or connectorized. I would say that the integrated antenna, 30 by 30 centimeter, is good for about 10 kilometers. Above 10 kilometers, you can use the external radio without antenna and connect a dish. On the upper side of the slide, you can see a radio with a dish. 60 centimeter or 90 centimeter dish, depends on the distance. But obviously above 10 kilometers, there is a need for a dish. So this is a very good cost-effective product, up to 500 meg. And the new product, very high capacity, the highest capacity in the market, is called Radwin 2000E. Can go up to 2.5 gigabit. I'm saying up to because it always depends on distance and other factors. This product comes with 24 dBi integrated antenna or connectorized to use with a dish. Very powerful product, very powerful. It also has fiber connectivity, so you can connect a fiber or standard Ethernet cable. All Radwin radios, they have built-in GPS inside for synchronization, so no need for external devices. Because another external device, another cable, another antenna makes everything complicated. So we have the GPS built into the radio, so everything is smooth and nice. And there is just one Ethernet cable going down to a PoE. Okay. So two point-to-point links, they are available from stock, and we ship a lot of them from different types of backhaul connectivity application. Okay. Now the Alpha can also be a subscriber to point-to-multipoint. Okay, the Alpha radio can also be a CPE for a point-to-multipoint. So a bit more details on the E, which is a premium product. It can support up to, actually I have to update the slides because we tested it to 120 kilometers. So the range is not 60 but 120 kilometers line of sight. So it can go for very long range. Channel bandwidth 2040, 80, 160, adaptive modulation. This radio is based on the latest AX technology, but all the software, all the layer 2, layer 3, everything is Radwin proprietary interface. We don't use Wi-Fi. It's not a Wi-Fi product. It's a top quality telco grade radio link that uses a proprietary, very robust radio interface. Okay, so it's a very robust radio, same category as licensed link. Okay, what else we can say about this radio? I mentioned it has fiber connectivity, web GUI interface, very user-friendly web GUI. It comes in different regulations. Obviously for Middle East and Africa, we sell universal band, so you can use it in full power. What you see here is the capacity per distance. This is has to do with physics of radio. So capacity drops with distance, but it's still very nice. It's very nice. You can see that at 10 kilometers, you can still get a lot of capacity if you operate, let's say, on 80 megahertz with narrow dishes. You can still get about 700 or so megabit. If it's a short distance, 5 kilometers, you can still get the gigabit on 80 megahertz. And if you use very narrow dishes, let's say 90 centimeter dishes where the angle is 4 degrees, then I believe you can also use the 160 megahertz and get a lot of more capacity. Okay, the integrated antenna has some big advantages. This is a new Radwin design. We managed to reduce the side lobes by 10 dB. This is significant. It means the antenna is much more powerful and much less exposed to interference. Okay, and so for integrated antenna, I would say up to 10 kilometers, it's a very powerful integrated antenna. Security, this radio supports 256 AES, so top security, very low latency and jitter. Okay, it's every packet that comes in goes out after 1 or 2 milliseconds, so it's very fast, almost like fiber over the air. This product can be configured 80%, 20% to each direction, so it has asymmetric capabilities. So you can configure it to 50-50 or 25-75 to each direction. So this was point-to-point. Let me see, just a second. Okay, there are some questions. One question, is there a PoE port to support any additional item like camera or speaker? Well, on the radio itself, we don't have another PoE port. We had such a product in the past, but we had this, but we found that customers, it was not a best seller. So we discontinued this because most customers preferred to connect the camera to a switch for different reasons. So we discontinued this product. But we do have a very good Radwin PoE switch, industrial switch. I will show you later, where you can connect cameras and other devices.
There was another question from Ambish. Do you have also the same products with ATEX, IECEX rating?
ATEX, we can make it. We have an option to place the radio in an ATEX enclosure. So we do it per project. So if there is a project that requires for oil and gas ATEX, we deal with this on a project basis. We did such projects in the past. It was very successful with BP in Africa, British Petroleum, and with another big company in the North Sea. So if there is such a project, talk to us and we'll take it on a project basis, okay?
One quick question also as well. Do you want to ask the questions at the end of the presentation, or can you just ask right now?
What is the question?
The question is, Cambium also has beamforming antennas. How is that different from Radwin?
Yes, Cambium, actually Radwin was the first to bring to the market the beamforming technology. We were the first ones, in 5 gigahertz, and then Cambium followed us. The Radwin beamforming is bidirectional, meaning it's beamforming in the uplink and downlink. Okay, so it's very, very powerful. It's not just one direction.
Yeah, you want to explain and expand more about this?
Yeah, I have some slides, but the Cambium has beamforming only in one direction. Only, I think, in the uplink, not in the downlink. So it's like 50% of the job. It's okay, but it's not so optimal as we offer, okay? Okay, let's continue. Okay, now point to multipoint. Up to now, I talked about point to point. Point to multipoint. Point to multipoint, I think definitely I can say we are the best vendor in the market with the best product line. We have a variety of products, different performance and different price levels. The best product we have, the top of the line is on the right side, called Jet Duo. Jet Duo has it's a base station. It has 1.5 gigabit capacity. Dual carrier, there are 2 radios inside, supporting 128 users, 90-degree beamforming, 20 dBi, and the beamforming is actually 8 degrees with committed information rate SLA. So this is our top of the line base station. Also, it has the highest price, but we sell a lot of it because it's really the best product in the market. The second one is called Jet Pro, which has 750 meg. It's very similar to the Duo, but half of the capacity and half of the users. Also very good product. We have deployed hundreds of thousands of this very good product. Jet Air, also very powerful, but without CIR, without committed information rate. And then we have the low-cost products, Neo Duo, Neo, and L. Those are also very good products, but the beamforming is 30 degrees, antenna is 16 dBi. Those are very good for shorter range, maybe up to, I would say, 5-10 kilometers, not more in full power. Where the other products, the jets can even go up to 40 kilometers. And the very low end is called 5000L, a very low cost product, 250 meg, 16 users, and without beamforming. So it really is it really depends on your project. I would say if you want to connect 2, 3, 4 cameras for a few hundred meters in a street level and there's not too much interference, you can take the cheap 5000L. And if you want to connect many cameras or houses in a very interfered area for different ranges up to 10, 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers, obviously the Jet Duo is the best. Now, I mentioned beamforming. This is how it works. Shimon, maybe you want to explain a bit about the beamforming with this slide. Shimon? Okay, so this is how it works. Yes, Shimon.
Okay, the beamforming is a narrow beam, which is the steering antenna. It has a main beam, which is continue to steer and continue to scan. Once it found the subscriber, then it continued to focus on this subscriber, send receive, and continue to the next subscriber in the 90 degrees. Because of the narrow beam, the central beam, which is very narrow, and the side lobes, which are very narrow, we have better interference mitigation than Cambium, which uses the multi-user MIMO, which is different, and I have a slide to compare our beamforming vs Cambium. The benefit of this antenna is first to mitigate better interference, and to allow, and the advantage is to allow frequency reuse back to back, where Cambium cannot reuse the frequency back to back because of their implementation of the antenna. So, like Yaron mentioned, the beamforming is uplink and downlink, while in some cases of Cambium, it's only on one side and not bidirectional. Additional advantage that we have that the beamforming is continue to steer and capable to cope with near line of sight much better than any other beamforming in other vendors. Because of the capability to find and to locate subscribers, it has better reflection capabilities than other beamforming in the market.
Okay, great. Thanks, Shimon. Okay. So this is how it looks like in real installation. You see on the left side, you see a Jet Duo installed somewhere. And on the right side, I showed you already this picture. So again, this is has 90-degree coverage. Now, some capacity per distance. This is Jet Duo on 40 megahertz. Now you can see this is what you see here. You have to double the capacity because this is just one stream. So, for example, at 4 kilometers, you have almost more than 500 meg. So, 500 meg times 2, so a gigabit capacity. So, capacity is very good. It doesn't drop so drastically per distance like other products. It still keeps very high capacity per distance. This is Jet Air, 40 megahertz, We have customers deploying it to 20 kilometers. So it has very powerful 20 dBi beamforming antenna. And again, very, very good for a long range. Okay. Two other base stations that are unique. Two other models. One is called multi-sector. This is very popular. We sell a lot of this base station. This is a 1.5 gigabit base station, dual carrier, but connectorized. It doesn't have antennas. But the beauty of it is it has 4 output. It can connect up to 4 MIMO antennas. So it has 8 RF outputs. And it can connect to 4 antennas of 90 degrees or 60 degrees, it doesn't matter. So this base station, what is one radio can cover 360 degrees. So this is big savings, because with just one base station, you can cover 360 degrees, connecting 4 sector antennas, okay? It has dual radio inside. It supports a committed information rate, SLA, nomadic mode. So we did many big projects with this base station covering areas. And it's a very popular. Also, the price point is very good. And the other low-end product is 5000L connectorized. It's just a radio, 250 meg. Can connect to 1 MIMO antenna, supports 16 clients. This is the low-end product that we have, but it works very well for a specific application. Okay, just to connect few subscribers, short range. It works very well. Now, all the base stations that I mentioned. Okay, all the base stations, doesn't matter which model, they all work with the same subscribers. The subscribers can support any type of base station. So on the subscriber side, CPE, there are basically 2 models, SU Air and SU Pro. SU Air is the low end without committed information rate. This has a low price. It's good for residential connectivity or connectivity where you don't need committed information rate. The other subscriber is called SU Pro. This is more professional, business type. It's a bit more expensive, but it's more for business use, more for heavy use. It has more features. It has SLA, CIA, committed information rate, and some others. So you have 2 types. Both of them can work up. The hardware can support up to 500 meg. Okay, let me look at another question. Just a second. Is this beamforming or TDD? Okay, it's both. It's beamforming. The antenna itself is beamforming. And we use TDD technology. Okay, so but the TDD works very fast. I mean, it's like in microseconds, so you don't really feel. It doesn't create any delays, and it moves very, very fast. Okay, so another product. So this was up to now point-to-multipoint base station subscriber units. Now to power the radios. You can power the radios with standard PoE, Radwin PoEs, AC. We provide AC, DC PoEs, indoor and outdoor. We have DC PoEs, 10 to 60 volts, or AC PoE. Or we also provide a very, very good industrial switch. It's a product called IDU-SI, 10 gigabit. Two fiber ports with 10 gigabit and 8 ports. So you can actually, with the Radwin switch, you can power Radwin radios or any other radio, any other PoE radio or camera or outdoor Wi-Fi or anything. So this is a very popular switch that we are selling in big quantities. It's a DIN rail, so you can install it on a rail, and it works very, very well. It's industrial grade, so you can install it in a street cabinet. Even in the Dubai weather, you can install it in a street cabinet and it will work very, very well. The Radwin radios, I have to tell you that we don't support standard PoE. There is a need to use the Radwin PoEs, okay, for different reasons. Our PoE has protection inside for the radio, so we prefer that the radios will work with Radwin PoEs. It is possible to power the Radwin radios with some other switches, PoE switches, but those switches, they need to have a passive mode, okay, passive or passive mode, but not the 802.x and all this, okay. But I think again the best is to use Radwin PoEs or Radwin switches. Okay, so this is a bit more on the switch. Shimon, you want to say something about the switch?
No, I want to say before about the PoE. Exceptional is the 2000T, which is a standard PoE Plus.
Okay, very nice, very good. Yes. So this is the switch. I mean, whoever is interested, we can send data sheets and pricing. But it's a really very powerful switch. It has dual power supplies, so fully redundant. If something happens, you have two power supplies. It has 8 ports, 2 fiber ports, and other really nice switching features.
It's a layer 3 solution. We have IDU and IDU-S, IDU-SI. It's two different products. IDU-S is layer 2 solution. IDU-SI, which is the industrial IDU, is fully supporting layer 3 protocol and routing protocol. Also, it has ring topology and ring protocol to support fiber ring topology. So the IDU-SI, it's a fully layer 3 solution, and the power consumption for each port is up to 90 watt, which is a very, very powerful switch.
Yes. I know that some of the PTZ cameras requires high power, 60 watts, 90 watts. So you can power cameras, PTZ cameras from this switch. Okay, this is just an illustration on how this can be used. So the IDU-SI can power multiple Radwin base stations. It can power an outdoor Wi-Fi, it can power cameras, and it can be connected to an IDU-S switch or any other backbone switch. Okay. Okay, let's jump back a little bit to applications. I mentioned before that we like C-ports. So we did over the years a lot of C-ports project. In a C-port, there is a need for a camera connectivity, connecting RTGs, cranes, connecting autonomous vehicles. So we can provide a complete wireless network for a C-port with our product. I mentioned at the beginning that we have another product line just for mobility and trains. It's called Fiber in Motion. I think maybe we will do another webinar just on Fiber in Motion because it's a different product line. What you can see on the lower right picture, you can see an autonomous vehicle connected with Radwin. Okay, this is a project we did in China somewhere, where those vehicles without a driver, they move the containers and they are fully controlled on a private network with Radwin, with multiple radios inside for redundancy, and the shark antenna, a few shark antennas on top, so they are always connected to the nearest base station with 50 millisecond handover. So this is the Fiber in Motion product line for mobility and trains. Some of the software tools, we have very nice software tools. A software package called Radwin NMS, Win Manage. With this software, you can manage multiple radios, up to 10,000 radios. You can manage Radwin or other SNMP devices to get full monitoring, performance monitoring, alarms. It's a very nice software package.
Full troubleshooting you can do from the Win Manage, troubleshooting, root analysis, root cause analysis, reporting, and all the kind of monitoring, not just for Radwin equipment, also for third party like Cisco, Juniper, firewalls that you have, other broadband vendors that you are sharing. It will monitor. It's which supporting SNMP version 1, version 2, and version 3. It can communicate with AAA radios and so on. So it's fully secure.
Yeah. Let me look at some questions and then we'll continue. For mobile operators, which units would you recommend? So it really depends on the application. If it's backhaul, cellular backhaul, the Alpha 500 or the 2000E is good. I think usually mobile operators are using point-to-point from us, either for mobile backhaul or to connect business clients or backup to license links or backup to fiber. So any type of Radwin point-to-point can fit. IDUSI requires additional power supply. Well, very good question. The IDUSI needs, Shimon, 48 volts, right? DC.
Okay, the IDUSI and the IDUS has two redundant power supply, which is the DC input. So to redundant the DC input, it can be powered by AC by adapter. So we have an adapter especially for AC to DC for this for the IDUS and for IDUSI for the industrial. So you can power it with DC or with AC using the adapter, and the input power is between 48 voltage to 56 voltage. So you can use it with a redundant DC power supply.
Yeah, very good. So the package, the switch itself does not come with the AC power supply, okay? It requires 48 volts DC, but we do have an AC to DC power supply. If you need it, it's possible to order it separately from us, AC to DC power supply, okay? What is the temperature rating for the switch? Shimon, do you remember?
The industrial is very...
IDUSI.
The IDUSI is the industrial, I think, minus, no, it's between, it's up to 50...
I think plus 70, right?
50 or 70, yeah, 70 degrees Celsius.
Okay, we need to check that. It's a good question. But as I remember, Shimon, check it. I remember is plus 70 to minus 40. But Shimon will check. Okay, let me see what else. Okay, the PoE, does it support surge protection and lightning protection? There is some level, but just very basic. We do have a separate item, which is a lightning protector. So if you need a full lightning protector, we always recommend to buy the external unit. We have a lightning protector. Maybe if you drop me or XTREAM an email after, we'll send you the information datasheet about the lightning protector, okay? Okay, another question, is the AC power supply also industrial fanless? Yes, there is no fan. There is no fan. All our products are without fan. The switch has no fans. The AC power supply has no fans. So yes, totally fanless. We don't like fans because fans.
It's a passive cooling fanless.
Yeah, fans you have to replace every 3 years.
So minus 40 to 75 degrees.
Yes. Okay, so we will, Carl, we will send you the switch and lightning protector data sheets after, okay? Okay. Okay, so, okay, just a second. Good. Yeah, Shimon, maybe you can explain a little bit more about the complete software package that we have. Maybe on this one. Shimon?
Yeah, exactly. Before we, leave it like this. This is the web GUI of the Win Manager, which is the NMS system. Like Yaron mentioned, it's you can increase the package of monitored devices or elements up to 10,000 elements when each element is IP address. The Win Manage is part of Radwin OSS tool. The Win Manage, the Win Plan, the Win Touch, which are Win Deploy, which are operating systems which contribute to deploy, to monitor, and to install Radwin equipment. So we have the Win Plan, which is the planning tools to perform the prediction of radio planning. Then the customer is going to deploy and deploying the equipment. He has a WinTouch application cellular to install the subscriber unit and to align the antenna to the base station. And then, as a holistic solution, we can monitor the entire project or the entire solution. So the installer is going to decide during the alignment, do the speed test, get the performance, and upload all the information to the cloud. So we have a holistic solution from deploy, install, and monitor. So the Win Manage, it's NMS system, end-to-end monitoring, all kinds of measurement and performance monitoring is done by the NMS system. So the dashboard of the NMS are customized, so you can customize the view of the NMS and to monitor what's important in your specific eyes to be monitored. And of course, you can get all the kind of alarms, events at real time. So the Win Plan, the Win Manage, the Win Touch are complete solution to deploy and monitor the solution to get a better performance and at each period of time.
Okay, and then radio planning?
So the radio planning, we have the Win Plan. What Yaron mentioned, show you now, it's the R Planner, which is the little bit old software. And now we are moving to a web-based planning tool, which called Win Plan. And the Win Plan is much more sophisticated. We can plan not just sub-6, we can plan 60 gigahertz, we can plan also outdoor Wi-Fi with web GUI-based planning. And of course, it's based on Google Map. And in addition to the Google Map, we can add clutter to be able to perform clutter and take into consideration the real clutter. We can add also our 3D maps in some cases, but currently we can edit the clutter, and the clutter will take into consideration when we are doing the prediction. So the prediction become much more accurate and much more sophisticated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, thank you. And then there is another application that you can load to your mobile phone that helps you with installation. It's called WinTouch. Shimon, maybe you can say a little bit about this, the WinTouch.
Yeah, exactly. The WinTouch is part of the cloud services where you can you create a work order to the installer. The installer gets the work order directly to his mobile phone, and with using the application, he can go to the site and perform the alignment. The application has all the details regarding the installation, and immediately it will find the sector ID, synchronize to the sector ID, and be able to align the antenna properly towards the correct base station. Once he did the alignment, he can get the performance, the speed test of the site, upload not just the speed test, also installation photos. So the cloud, when deploy, has all the information about the performance of the site, the installation of the site, and you can compare the prediction vs the real deployment of the site. So the site become much more, the deployment become much more accurate and a very controlled process by the operation guys. And so the technician can communicate with the operation guys and deliver the real performance of the site. So the WinTouch contribute to easy deployment, easy and fast installation of many sites.
Okay, Shimon, thank you very much. We are just on time. So thank you, everybody. One thing I will say, one last thing that I would like to say is, we are not just in the business of selling equipment and pushing equipment. We work with our customers as partners. We help you in radio planning. We help you with designing your project. We help you fit the right product to the right project, so it will meet the requirement of your customers in the right price. We help to optimize. So try us. If you have a wireless project, contact XTREAM, our partner in Dubai. We are in touch with them, and we will work together. We will help you with radio planning, with everything that you need. Okay, so just try Radwin, and you'll see the results. So thank you very much. I appreciate you joining today. I appreciate listening, and we'll be in touch. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Yaron. Maybe they have some questions. Anybody has any questions right now? Yaron, we got Mr. Carl Wiesner. What a question from him? What security and encryption features are provided for as standard? What security and encryption features are provided for as standard?
Security. Shimon, can you talk about security and encryption?
Security. Security is very important to us. So every radio can integrate with AAA server. So let's distinguish between two security aspects. One security aspect is the air interface, and second security aspect is the administration part. So both need to be fully secured in order to provide a full package. So over the air, The air interface is encapsulated with AES 256. So the packet over the air are fully encapsulated with exchange of keys, which is done in every millisecond. This is the first level of security, which is the encapsulation of the traffic over the air. We provide also a link password, so it can authenticate the two sides of the link. So the authentication between the two sides must be done with a secured of a password that you will provide and you will configure. Addition to security level is the interaction between subscriber and the base station. It can be done according to MAC address, to a specific user and password, exchange of a MAC address or serial number. So a subscriber will not be able to synchronize and register before he did a full authorization and authentication between subscriber and the base station. So this is the second level of security. We have a specific secure mode where the subscriber must have identical sector ID. If the sector ID is not matched one-to-one, it will not be able to synchronize and register to the base station. From administration point of view, we support HTTP, HTTPS, SSH, and of course, AAA radius to identify the users that can be communicate with the management system. Of course, we support SNMP version 1, SNMP version 3, and SNMP version 2, so you can secure your administration part and provide different privileges to different users. You can be a read and write, and so on, and provide different privileges to different kind of users according to the administrator. Above all this, we have the NMS system, which is the Win Manage, and it also has the security on the operating system, which is the ISO, which is the Ubuntu, and security over the application, which comes with the NMS system, with the AAA radius, with LDAP server, communicate with LDAP, communicate with AAA server. So the entire NMS system is fully secure. So two aspects are very important and fully secured by Radwin packages. Did I answer your question?
Sorry, I'm on mute. I just realized that. So I've got another question from Mr. Al-Karimi. He says, another question, where is the product based exactly? Singapore, Europe, or Israel? So
we are a global company. We manufacture our factories in Singapore. We are registered in the US. We have a US based, and we have an R&D center in Tel Aviv, in India, and in Romania.
Mr. Sami Abbas has a question. How does your product deal with interference?
Can I take the screen? How can I share the screen?
Yeah, you can share the screen.
Hi, Yerod. I got a quick question for you. With regard to white labeling, do you all have any options where people can have their own brand or have a white label on their brand?
Yes, most, not all, but most products are available as white label. Okay, so if someone is interested to make a private label, we can do that. We ship and that they can completely brand it with their brand. But again, it's not available currently for all products, maybe 80% of the products.
And the country of origin will be from Singapore.
Yes,
Correct?
yes.
Go out.
For those who are here, this is a very good question. Interference is a major problem, as you
Yeah.
all know. So this is a very good question asked by Mr. Sami Abbas.
Yeah, let me start before Shimon comes back. The reason we introduced beamforming to the market is because of interference. Okay, beamforming, bidirectional beamforming, has a huge effect on the traffic. Okay, so it's why? Because in point to multipoint, in a standard way, you transmit, let's say with a 90-degree antenna, you always transmit and receive in 90 degrees. So you are always exposed to interference in 90 degrees. Where with beamforming, you're only
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So with just a second, I will finish and then you can show. This is fantastic. So this is the beamforming, okay? Instead of being exposed to 90 degrees all the time, you're only exposed in 8 degrees, and this has a huge effect.
So actually, this is a real world of multipass. It can be line of sight, near line of sight, and non-line of sight. So we came with a solution that even we can put a subscriber in the street level, we will be able to create a link based on reflections. So this is the beamforming. So you can put it on the rooftop or on the tower, and then it continues to steer in 90 degrees. And it will find a reflection, or definitely will find a reflection because of the beamforming. The beamforming is a very narrow central beam in the 90 degrees. And like Yaron mentioned, it is a TDD solution. And once it finds the subscriber, it can be based on reflection or diffraction. It will find a subscriber and continue to communicate on the uplink and the downlink based on the TDD synchronization. So we support up to in the 90 degrees, we can support up to 64 subscribers point to multipoint and 128 subscribers in a dual carrier. In a dual carrier, in the jet dual carrier, we have two beams with the same beamforming that are scanning the 90 degrees. It can be 5.4 and 5.8, two beamforming that scan the 90 degrees. Additional, to the beamforming capabilities, there is a feature where subscriber can move between primary carrier to secondary carrier, and this gives you a redundant, it give you double capacity, of course, but also some kind of redundancy between primary carrier and secondary carrier. So this is the beamforming, and look what happened when we have a simulation of a beamforming that communicate with two sides. So they definitely will find a reflection point with object, with any kind of object. It can be concrete, it can be aluminum, it can be some kind of reflection point to create a wireless link. This is something that none of the vendors in the market have it. None Cambium with the multi-user MIMO, which they have some kind of beamforming, but this is a multi-user. And the multi-user is very limited because you need to organize your subscriber in a very well-structured deployment. Otherwise, you will lose the multi-user MIMO. This is example how the beamformer works. And you can imagine if this beamforming works by reflection, because it is very narrow, it can mitigate much better interference. When you compare it to any multi-user MIMO or to compare it to sectorial antenna, which has wide sector beam. So this is example how the beamforming work in Radwin. So even you can try to drop the antenna, it will continue to find a reflection point. So this is example how the interference works. The interference, you can see it in red. It hit the antenna, but it will not interfere the communication between the main beam and the subscriber unit or the several subscribers that are located in the 90 degrees. So actually we can look at it like this. It reduces the interference level and improve the immunity in a very congested area. Definitely we did many trials with the Medusa, with the 450 Cambium, and I can tell you that we have much more compact unit on the tower, much less space on the tower, and much better humidity, much better interference mitigation, and much better immunity to interference. This is how the beamforming works. It's a mathematical combination of array of antenna, and that is why our beamforming is much better than any other vendor in the market. Additionally to this beamforming, we have also algorithm on the background, which called dynamic channel bandwidth. It will try to provide you the higher throughput in each period of time, even though there is interference. We can maintain the higher modulation or the higher channel bandwidth, and this is the decision that the base station will take for every subscriber on the uplink or the downlink separately. It's fully separate algorithm on the uplink and the downlink, so it can mitigate better interference and provide you the higher modulation or the higher channel bandwidth to provide stable throughput and of course stable latency and stable delay. So this is the algorithm that works at the background to provide you a better interference mitigation. The dynamic channel bandwidth, the automatic channel select, the beamforming, the antenna, all this come together with Radwin air interface to provide you better, much better interference mitigation and save costs on the tower, because if you compare Radwin to the Medusa, we are very small antenna but provide a very good performance comparison to Cambium, for example.
Good.
There is one thing that I want to mention regarding the mobility. Yaron mentioned that we have the fiber in motion, which is a full mobility, full handover over the air and full handover at the networking, and the fiber in motion provide 50 millisecond handover. We have also a BWA solution, it's called nomadic. It means that you can provide some kind of handover, but it is break and make, and it can provide mobility up to 40 kilometers per hour without full handover. It's a cheap solution, much cheaper than the fiber in motion, but when you consider a vehicle, the nomadic can be a good solution for low-speed vehicle when the handover is not important.
Yeah, the best
So we
is,
can provide,
I would say, if someone has a project with connecting vehicles, talk to us and we will find the optimal solution. Okay.
Exactly. Okay, thank you.
Yo, thanks a lot, Shimon. Any other questions, guys? Fantastic. I know we've 20 minutes off the mark. It was a pretty good presentation. That's why there are so many questions. El Karimi has another quick question.
Yeah.
Which regulatory certificate does these have?
Which certificate?
Which regulatory certificates do these have?
Okay, so we support a lot of regulations from ETSI. ETSI is for Europe. CE is also for Europe. ETSI, CE. Also, we meet some very tough standardization for shock vibration, like IP67. Okay. For oil and gas, I mentioned we can do ATEX Zone 2, but this is on a project basis. And yeah, that's more or less. If there is something specific, you can drop us a mail and we will look into that.
Exactly. Just to mention, we support the ETSI RED regulation, a full radar detection, and DFS, of course. So for European country and European standard, we have special regulation for different countries. For example, Kazakhstan, we have special for Kazakhstan. Nigerian, we have NCC regulation for Nigeria. It depends on each regulation in each country, and of course, it's important to say that we are fully type approved in those countries. So we have a process to type approve our product and become fully regulated according to the strict regulation for each country.
Fantastic. Any other questions? Do you have solutions for data centers? Not. I don't think Radwin does, but we will get in touch with you, Samuel. Right. I won't keep anybody for too long. Thanks a lot, Shimon. Thank you very much, Yaron. Thank you very much. It was a pretty interesting webinar. For those who are interested in getting a copy, please send an email to sales@xtream-me.com or get in touch with your sales agent. sales@xtream-me.com. Again, Yaron, Shimon, thank you very much. It was a fantastic webinar.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Take care.
Thank
All
you.
the best.
Thanks, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.